Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirecTV.
Mary had a little man.
The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
Happen in the Senate if the House does get through with this inquiry and decide that they are going to impeach President Trump?
Well, under the Senate rules, we're required to take it up if the House does go down that path, and we'll follow the Senate rules.
There had been some discussion about, people literally going back to the Constitution and arguing there is no mandatory act on behalf of the Senate. Looking back at an interview that you gave in March saying you'd have no choice but to have a Senate trial if the House passed an article or more. But you're saying that if they did, the Senate would move ahead.
Yeah, it's a Senate rule related to impeachment that would take 67 votes to change. So I would have no choice but to take it up. How long you're on it is a whole different matter.
Mitch McConnell. Doesn't say much, but he shows you everything. Shows you everything right there. You know what's newsworthy about that clip? What's newsworthy about that clip is that Mitch McConnell is saying that if an impeachment is, an indictment is handed down by the House of Representatives acting as a grand jury and indicting the president, that there's a Senate rule that requires that Mitch McConnell hold a trial. Now, we were wondering whether or not he would hold a trial because we all know the Constitution doesn't require him to hold a trial. Apparently, there is a rule in the Senate that says he is required to hold a trial. So that was interesting. But what's fascinating is the secondary comment. How long that trial will last is another matter. Oh, I see. So what Mitch McConnell would do was convene a court, right, in the Senate, which is what he's supposed to do, what the rule requires of him, that looks like a trial. So John Roberts would come in and he would preside over this trial. You would have a prosecutor from the House or maybe more. You would have defense attorneys for the president. They would do their opening statements, and then Mitch McConnell would hold a vote, and that's the end of it. See what I mean there? That's just one likely scenario. Could be a million of them, where the Senate allows it to look like a trial, but the trial is completely and utterly truncated so that you don't ever get to hear from the witnesses. They don't get cross-examined. Remember, the senators themselves would then be nothing but jury members. They would be members of the jury. Now, here's another little factoid that you need to know. The Republicans are going to claim, the Democrats have already made up their mind. Adam Schiff needs to, be fired, and he's committing acts of treason because he's already made up his mind. You know why that is? Because the House of Representatives is prosecuting the president. That's what an indictment is. The House of Representatives, you need to think about that as the grand jury. So, of course, in a grand jury, the prosecutor alone, just the prosecutor who believes you need to be indicted, you are guilty. And he's asking the grand jury to find that and agree with him. There is no defense attorney in a grand jury. There isn't. And meanwhile, the House has taken testimony from defense witnesses. They have been more than accommodating. But the prosecutor believes in your guilt. And the prosecutor is Adam Schiff. The prosecutor is Gerald Nadler. So, of course, they believe the president is guilty. They would not pursue impeachment, which is an indictment. Then the trial would be held in the Senate, and the senators then become jury members. John Roberts would conduct the trial. Then you would hear from House prosecutors. Then you would hear from defense attorneys in the president's behalf. And maybe there will be articles of impeachment against Bill Barr, too. And maybe there'll be articles of impeachment against Pompeo as well that we have to contend with after this is all over. You see what I mean? So all of these excuses that they have, oh, I won't cooperate with Adam Schiff. I think he should be removed because he's already decided on the guilt of the president. Well, that is his job. That is the job of the grand jury. The prosecutor, of course, goes in believing that he has a case, beyond a reasonable doubt, a case against you. So ridiculous, this stuff that they peddle as being some sort of proof that you can't cooperate with Adam Schiff because he's already made up his mind. Well, of course he's already made up his mind. He's the prosecutor, for God's sake. Just remember that. This is such swill. The thing that really kills me, yes, the president of the United States is a liar. Yes, the president of the United States asked people in his cabinet to do illegal things over and over. He asked Don McGahn to do illegal things, going back to that, right? He asked Corey Lewandowski to do illegal things. He asked Michael Cohen to do illegal things. He asked Rex Tillerson to do illegal things, which is why I played you that clip of Rex Tillerson. And if you haven't seen it, just rewind, okay? Rex Tillerson said that he had to leave because the president was asking him to do illegal things and he couldn't do illegal things, okay? So we know that anybody that's left around Trump is willing to do illegal things. The sick thing about the Attorney General of the United States, who is willing to do illegal things where Jeff Sessions was not, is that he's traveling the world extorting our allies into manufacturing a conspiracy theory, something in support of a false, fake conspiracy theory, either to placate the president or because he's having fun doing it. He certainly can't believe this. He's not an idiot. He reads books. He reads briefings. He reads depositions. He knows none of this is true, but he's still, I don't know if it's because he's trying to placate the president, if he's trying to pacify the president, if he's trying to earn his stripes to get to the Supreme Court, if God forbid something happens to one of them. I have no earthly idea what his motivation is. Maybe it's just he's enjoying the power trip. I have no idea. We don't know yet. But I will tell you this. The intelligence community is sounding the alarm because he is traveling around the world discrediting people who don't want any accolades, people who aren't political, people who are career professionals who protect the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Give you a heads up. He's doing that over a 3-year-old election that his guy won. That's sick. That's twisted. That is just wow. And you know he's obsessed. I mean, Trump is obsessed with those servers. He is.
So let me just say that we have two thoughts. You have groups that are wondering why the FBI never took the server.
Oh, my God.
Haven't they taken the server? Why was the FBI told to leave the office of the Democratic National Committee? I've been wondering that. I've been asking that for months and months, and I've been tweeting it out and calling it out on social media. Where is the server?
The server.
I want to know, where is the server?
The server.
And what is the server saying?
Server.
With that being said, all I can do is ask the question. My people came to me, Dan Coates came to me, and some others. They said they think it's Russia. I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this. I don't see any reason why it would be, but I really do want to see the server.
That's all he cares about. He's obsessed with it, and it's a conspiracy theory. It isn't true. None of what he said out there on the world stage is true standing next to Vlad. And now you got Bill Barr focusing on our intelligence operatives in order to cheer up Donald Trump. This is bizarro world and super freaking dangerous. I'm going to quote you from the Washington Post. Current and former intelligence and law enforcement officials expressed alarm on Monday that the head of the Justice Department was taking such a direct role in re-examining what they view as a conspiracy theory and baseless allegations of misconduct. Barr has already made overtures to British intelligence officials. Last week, he traveled to Italy. He met with a senior Italian government official. Barr asked the Italians to assist a U.S. attorney in Connecticut, Mr. Durham. Now he's asking Australia. And the reason why, it all goes back to the server, right? It doesn't go back to the server. It goes back to the interference that a Maltese professor told, probably he was a Russian operative, told George Papadopoulos about. He told George Papadopoulos, so George Papadopoulos would take it back to Trump, that Russia had dirt on Hillary Clinton. And Papadopoulos got drunk and told an Australian diplomat.